I was recently on a coaching call with a peak method trained practitioner, and their mind was blown when they realized that I offer full money back guarantees on all the treatments in my clinic. And they were just flabbergasted to think that that could even be a thing. So they asked me a question and I wanted to cover it this week in the podcast. You said in one of your training models that you always offer a full money back guarantee on all your treatments, which seems like a bad idea and something people would definitely take advantage of. Why do you offer this in the first place? How do you implement it? How many people have taken advantage of it? In this episode, I explain the ins and outs of the guarantee process and how we offer it and share how it has helped our business skyrocket over the past few years. I hope you enjoy the show. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Soft Tissue Evolution Podcast, where we teach massage therapists a new treatment method that focuses on working smarter, not harder, allowing them to make well over $100,000 per year with less than 20 hours of time per week in the clinic. Dr. Matt Maggio here. Thank you so much for stopping by, for listening, for downloading, for supporting the podcast. It means the world to me. Keeps me going, wanting to continue to get these out there each week. We've been doing this podcast for going on almost 3 years now, so a lot of people fade out. I'm not fading, I'm getting stronger, and really just want to give you value, help you along your journey to get this care to more people, clean up the conservative care model. Advanced soft tissue practitioners need to be the go-to practitioners for injuries, not chiropractors, not physical therapists, definitely not orthopedic surgeons, and you are the best equipped for that. And if I can help you along the journey, that helps me along my mission to solve the pain pill epidemic. Q&A, my favorite segment. I love these segments. I love when you guys send me questions. If you have questions, send them in. I'm always happy to answer them. And I get a lot of good insight from people communicating with me from all over the world and really all over the country. So satisfaction guarantees in general. You know, I was on a coaching call with one of our peak method trained practitioners that's going through the certification program, which is awesome. Shameless plug right there. But they noticed that I do offer money back guarantees on all treatments. And it just blew their mind. They're like, how in the hell could you possibly do that? Don't people take advantage of it? Don't they screw you over? Doesn't it set you up for a lot of failure? A lot of headaches. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to make a podcast about this and really talk about why I offer money back guarantees on all my treatments and what it's done for my treatments, what it's done for my clients, what it's done for my business, what it's done for my bottom line has actually been really awesome. You know, I was the same way when I first thought about this and someone gave me this idea. I'm like, there's no way in hell I'm going to do that. People are going to take advantage of this left and right. And I know I've been talking about money a lot lately and about what's going on. Shit is going to hit the fan. Inflation is crazy. The economy is crazy. Money is going to get tighter and tighter and tighter. And people are going to think more about what they spend their money on. You know, we had a really good run there where people just had a lot of extra money and they just spent money on things that whatever, they had a lot of extra income. But now if things tighten up, they're going to trim their budget. And you want to be someone that isn't in the budget. You want to be in someone that is necessary, a true thing of what they need. And hopefully this podcast can help you with that because I want you to be able to survive and thrive through the shitstorm that's coming. So why do I give money back guarantees? So first thing I want to talk about is, and I talk about this all the time, are you a service provider? Are you a solutions provider? I made a podcast about that and the whole idea of what the differentiating factors are. But at the end of the day, solution providers solve problems. The world needs more problem solvers, more solutions, less service providers. Anyone can make you feel better, but how many people can actually solve your problem and keep you feeling good for a very long time? That is a solution provider. In all honesty, people pay more for a solution than they ever will for a service. Number two, I qualify my clients. You know, so many of us think in that like scarcity mindset instead of abundance. And the idea is like, hey, I got to take anyone that comes in. And when you do that, it's very needy. It's very desperate. It puts you in a bad spot and you end up taking on a lot of people that you don't want to take on. So what I teach and what I do in my clinics is we qualify clients. We only work with a certain type of client. In order to work with us, you have to have the following. One, you have to have a neck or shoulder or low back or sciatica issue. Anything else, we don't mess with it. That's what we're specialists in. That's what we're good at. We're damn good at it. And we fix that all day long. Number two, you've had to been dealing with this problem for at least 6 months. I hate acute stuff when it comes in and they just got hurt and they want a miracle. They haven't really gone through it enough to really appreciate what we truly do. And number 3 is they have to have failed care with at least 2 other providers: chiropractor, physical therapist, massage therapist, orthopedic, acupuncturist, personal trainer, all that stuff. They've had to actually gone out and tried some stuff, because I want a person that's been through the ringer. They've done a lot of stuff, because when these people come in, they've been through a lot of shit. They've been lied to, they've been overpromised, they've been underdelivered. The current medical model is a complete nightmare. And what happens is when people do come in and they're looking for a solution, their guard is way up. They are way more skeptical. In all honesty, I don't blame them for being skeptical either, because just cruising through Instagram, there's a lot of dumb fucks out there perpetuating a lot of stupid shit. So that's what's out there. So if you're quality and you're working on a specific demographic from where you are, it's going to put you higher in that solution echelon. Echelon, that's a good word. Or stratosphere. It's going to put you in a better place and really get people to take you a little bit more serious. Because at the end of the day, I want soft tissue practitioners to be looked at and taken seriously as a healthcare provider. So people are more skeptical, and that's okay. I look at that as a challenge and a way for me to help them along the journey to really communicate effectively and educate them on how we're going to be a solution for their problem. So people are very untrustworthy, and it's gotten worse and worse over time. And there's 3 things that they're going to look at you and trust you on. One is going to be your product. Is your product good? Number 2, do they trust you? Do they trust you personally as the practitioner? Number 3, do they trust the business? So they have to trust the product, they have to trust you, they have to trust the business. And when they don't do that, they don't come right out and say it like, "Hey, Dr. Maggio, your treatments kind of sound like bullshit. I'm not going to really go forward with this and do this." What they do is they give you these things called smoke screens and rebuttals. And what those are is they'll say, "I don't have the time for this. It might be I don't have the money for this, or I need to check with my partner or my spouse." All that is a smokescreen for uncertainty, that they don't trust the product, they don't trust you, they don't trust the business. So another thing that happens is there's 2 types of money. And I think I'm going to make a full podcast about this if you haven't got sick and tired of me talking about money yet, but you need to pay attention, because putting your head in the sand is not going to be a good thing and you're not going to make it. There's budget money and there's project money. So budget money is like your weekly or monthly expenses, your rent, your car, your food, you're going out doing type of things. And unfortunately, what happens is a lot of people put their treatment in the budget type of thing. So when they're going to cut out their budget and they're looking for things they need to cut, one of the first things they might cut is your treatments, because they're looking at it as more of a luxury or relaxation. You're not actually fixing the problem. When you have project money, when shit gets bad, you make it work. And that's what happens with your body. If your shoulder gets fucked up or your back gets fucked up, you can't work, you can't do the things you need to do. You need to take it just as seriously as if your engine blew or your air conditioner went out or your washer and dryer went out. You're going to find a way to make it pay for it, because it is a priority. So your job is to get them more in the project type of thing. And what I do for that, and I help people, is we have the client pay for all their treatments up front, right after we do a kick-ass report of findings and tell them exactly what's wrong, how we're going to help, and what the process is going to look like. That's when they're the most excited and they're the most willing to part with a bigger sum of money. Because at the end of the day, what's missing in the musculoskeletal treatment world is just accountability. People are very short-sighted. They want instant gratification, instant results. None of that shit exists. They're like, "Oh, I want to be better in one visit." It's like, hey, this took 20 fucking years for you to get to this place. We need to hold them accountable. And the only way to hold them accountable is to get them to pay for all their treatments up front. Once they trust the product, once they trust you, and once they trust the business. It also just allows you more headspace and clarity as a practitioner. You're not trying to hit a home run every visit. Because I always say treatment is like a medication. You want to give enough to be effective, but you can give too much, it can be overly effective. So everyone's trying to do an hour and a half of treatment, and what you're getting is just diminished gains, and it's not really getting better. It allows you to focus one day at a time as a practitioner and get them incrementally better. So what is my guarantee? So my guarantee is a satisfaction guarantee. So I like satisfaction guarantee because it's a little bit vague. It's not a results guarantee. I'm not like, "Oh, you're going to be at this percentage or you're going to get this or that." It's a satisfaction guarantee. And basically what I say is, in our clinic, what sets us apart from everyone else out there, what we do offer on our treatments is a full satisfaction guarantee. What that means is you're going to get the highest level of quality and service possible throughout the entire process. If at any time you don't think you got that, you let us know and we will refund your money back. So satisfaction, like you're like, oh, okay, well that sounds pretty good. Quality service. It's not, I used to do a results one and that really just didn't work well because there's so many other objective and subjective measurements in there. It's just like, hey, you're going to get the best quality and service possible. But what we do is we tag that along with a code of conduct. So I have a code of conduct and I have a 3 strikes rule. Like, hey, you got to get on the schedule when we tell you. You got to be on time. You can't be late. You can't cancel last minute. You can't do a bunch of stupid ass shit outside the office. You can't go get a bunch of treatment from a bunch of whack jobs without clearing it for me. And we have a 3 strike rule. And basically with our 3 strike rule, as long as you don't get 2 strikes, your satisfaction guarantee is still valid, but it goes void right after that because we're holding them accountable. It's never you, it's always the client, but it's your fault because you didn't hold them accountable and you didn't make them commit to the process. Your job is to help them along the journey. So that's what we do, a satisfaction guarantee. And it's vague, but it really does help ease some of that skepticism, especially, people that have been through a lot. They've seen a lot of different practitioners. They're very skeptical that you're going to be able to help solve their problem. That really helps kind of lower some of that. The next thing is people who pay more, they value it more. The people that have paid the most in my clinic for my treatments, they've been the best clients. They've been the most responsive. They've followed the program. They've done it. When you pay more for something, you value it a lot more. The problem with a cheap solution is it's not a solution and it usually doesn't work. So instead of trying to compete on price, why don't you try to be the most expensive in your area and also provide the most value across the board? And it really just ends up being like a skepticism crusher. I do this where someone's like, yeah, I just don't know. I'm like, all right, I totally hear what you're saying. So worst case scenario is you go through all the treatment, you get everything cleaned up and you're not better and you're not satisfied from where you are and you get your money back. Not really that big of a risk. It really helps people mitigate some of their risk because when people tell you no or they don't commit, they're really just afraid of making a bad decision. And people have really bad decision type of things. And now some people will say to me, oh, this seems gimmicky and salesy and all that stuff. And I don't want to do that shit. I'm like, bullshit. At the end of the day, if you have something truly amazing that can solve someone's problem and better their life, you got a duty and obligation to sell your ass off. So how's it worked for us? In all honesty, we got better clients. People that pay more value it more. And we got better results because we have the accountability in there. They've paid for their first 10, 12 visits up front. It allows me to really focus and dial in on each treatment. And I'm not trying to hit a home run every time. I'm trying to hit singles and base hits. And basically, I get them 5 to 7% better per visit. We get 8, 9, 10 visits. We're 50, 60% better. It allows for a more effective and long-lasting treatment. Number 2 is we just get a shit ton more referrals because it actually works and we get people better. That right there is worth it. And the last one is just more lifetime value. It's more valuable for the client because they actually get their problem solved. Yeah, think about that. People that are in pain and going through a bunch of shit, and pain sucks. It takes everything from you. It takes your attention, keeps you from doing the things you love. And when they can get that back, they get so much of their quality of life back. And for you as a practitioner, you get paid accordingly for what you do. You get top dollar because you're providing tremendous value. So it's better for you. It's better for the client. Now closing, have people taken advantage of this? Yeah. One time. And it was my own goddamn fault. The client was not qualified. They'd only been dealing with the problem for a month and they only saw one other provider. I knew in the back of my mind that I shouldn't have taken it on, but I did anyway. This person ended up having a lot of psychosocial mental issues. They were clearly better with objective data. I even paid for them to get a MRI and it showed on the MRI that they were better, but this person still wanted their money back. And this is when I was in my younger years and I wanted to fight and go through all this. So I fought her back. I'm like, I'm not doing this. This turned into a nightmare. She reported me to the Better Business Bureau. She actually reported me to the state board, ended up costing me a lot in legal fees and all that. All to come out to the end that I was justified and I was right. But you know what I learned? I should have just given that money back because it wasn't worth the headache and all that in the first place. But what I really learned was I didn't stick to my rule. I didn't qualify it. It wasn't the right person. Only take on the people that you know you can truly help. So that's why I give a guarantee and why you should as well. And it comes when you actually have some good skill sets, some good stuff that you can provide and help people. Because at the end of the day, people are going to get tighter and tighter with their money, how they spend it. They want to spend it on shit that they know will work. And having a guarantee in there really helps ease their skepticism. That's all I got for you guys. Go grab the free training and just focus on being great. It's the only thing that truly pays and will put you in a undeniable position in the market, in the space, and you can help more people and also share the show. Appreciate you guys, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye. Thanks so much for listening. If you want help on the path to being able to double your income, all while working 50% less and being taken seriously as a healthcare provider, I have some great resources for you. Number one, get access to our free training modules and introduction to my system, the Peak Method. Number two, subscribe to our YouTube channel, The Soft Tissue Revolution. Links to all of this can be found in the show notes. Lastly, if you like the show, please leave us a 5-star review and share it with others that you know it could help.